Hi friends, and welcome back to my studio. My name is Tammy Ernest for those of you who are new, and I am a long arm quilter, and here on my channel I like to share customer finishes as well as my own personal projects. So this week I have no personal sewing to show you, only because I've been working diligently on my long arming and expecting a grandbaby any day. I am filming several days early because my oldest daughter, is expecting her first baby, and she is several days overdue, and I want to be able to go at the first call that I receive from her. So I'm filming a few days early just to make sure that I am free to go, and so I'll keep you posted. But I do have lots of customer finishes to share with you today. I also wanted to make sure you knew about Quilt Circle membership. This is my online membership. This will be opening this Friday, April 26th. It'll only be open for 4 days, so the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. I only open membership to this a couple times a year. That way we keep the group cohesive. We get a good chance to get to know everybody in the group and just have good interaction with one another. So it'll be open for 4 days, and let me explain a little bit about what Quilt Circle membership is. So if you are a quilter, you watch a lot of YouTube videos, obviously, because you're watching me now. You visit quilt stores, you buy new patterns, you buy new fabric, but you continue to feel isolated and discouraged in your quilting journey only because you don't have anybody to share those things with. Maybe you don't have a local guild, maybe you don't have other people in your friends or family who are quilters, and you're just feeling a little lonely because you don't have anybody to ask questions of or to show them your new projects and have the excitement that us quilters have. So that's the whole reason that I developed the Quilt Circle membership, and we are opening enrollment this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It'll be open for 4 days. So you grab your chance to get in there. You'll want to join the wait list that's down below. That way you receive the emails. You'll know exactly when the membership opens. So let me just tell you a little bit about the membership. It is an online group, and we do have I host this on a platform called Circle, very similar to Facebook in some ways, in that you can post pictures, you can have chats with other members. There's ongoing chats, quilting chats, cross-stitching chats, those kinds of things, show and tell chats. We share pictures of the projects that we're working on, but this is a closed community, so not all of the other things that go with Facebook, but just able to focus on the members in the group. So it's easy to learn. We'll help you all through that. Don't worry about the tech part. We'll get you through all that part. But each week we do something inside Quilt Circle. So 1 week you'll receive, there'll be a video that's an interview that I do with somebody in the quilting industry, or perhaps it's something quilting related, a tutorial or something like that. So some of the things we've done in the past, I've interviewed pattern designers, I've talked with a quilt judge, a certified quilt judge. What else have we done? We did one on binding, did tutorials on binding 1 month. We also did a whole program on machine embroidery. So each month is something different, just something in the quilting community. So that's a video that's released the first week of each month. The second week of each month we do a live event. This is where we do a Zoom call, all of us together. We talk about the program from the week before. We also discuss other things that are going on, like our quilt-alongs or our Quilts of Valor. We ask questions of one another, we share ideas, we tell each other about quilt sales or quilt shows that we know of. So it's just a good time to get together and talk virtually and ask questions of one another. The third week of each month there is a video release that's a member spotlight. So this is where I sit down virtually again with someone in the Quilt Circle membership, just talk about their quilting journey, look at their quilting space if they want to share that with us, some of their quilting projects. It's just a good way to get to know one another in a more in-depth personal way. And then the final week of each month we do a live show and tell. And this is where we get together and it's your time to shine. That's when the members bring along the quilts and projects that they've been working on, and they're able to share those with one another, show them and tell us about us, tell us, they're able to show their projects and tell us about the patterns and the fabrics and who's it going to and all of those things. And so basically what I'm doing here is what they get to do within the group, is to show you the projects that they're working on. So it's a great, a lot of fun. Those are the things that each week that happen throughout the month. But then also we do a challenge each month, whether this year we're doing a pre-cut and panel challenge. So each month they have a challenge that they can participate in if they want to. Nothing's required. It's you do it at your convenience. And this month for April, they're doing a charm pack challenge, so creating something out of a charm pack. And then next month it'll be something different. So we have that ongoing thing. We also do a quilt along, the Somerville quilt along that I've showed you a few times here. And that's an ongoing project. We also have a Quilts of Valor initiative where we're creating blocks and creating quilts for deserving service people. So a lot of things going on. Again, it's pretty laid back. You can participate as much as you want or as little as you want. You know, some people just like to be a part of the group and kind of see what other people are doing, but don't always want to interact, and that's totally fine. I understand that. And others love the interaction with one another. So if it's something you're interested in, maybe you don't have, like I said, your own guild or other people in your life to share your quilting with, it may be something that you'd like to join us for. So you can click the button down below where it talks about joining the membership wait list, and that way you receive emails this week when that membership opens, and you won't want to miss it. So if you have any questions, you can send me an email and I'll be happy to answer those, but we'd love to have you join us in Quilt Circle. So let me share the customer quilts that I worked on this week, and here are pictures of the first one. So first of all, I have a couple of wall hangings from Terry this week, and these are so pretty. She's getting all ready for the holidays. The first one is called Jolly Holiday Wreath, and this is a pattern from Amanda Castor of Material Girl Quilts, and she has a blog post about this and a video on that blog post that shows you how she put this together. So really cute, can be made in an afternoon. Terry used some artesian batik fabrics that she had, all in green, most of green. A little bit of them have a little bit of red mixed in with the green. And then for the bow down here at the bottom, isn't that adorable? It's all done in reds. So tiny little square, not tiny, but you know, probably a 2-inch square finished. And you got some half square triangles. Looks like some pretty easy piecing. You have a large white square here, and this just has easy corner triangles on it there. Just squares around, and then you're making the wreath part of it with half square triangles. So nothing terribly difficult. It's just in the layout that you get that very pretty pattern. The white is fabric. You can see it's got some snowflakes in the pattern there. Very cute, because as if it's hanging on the wall, you're just going to read that as a solid white, and when you get in closer you can see the snowflake. It's some grays and golds and silvers on top of the white. The fabric is really pretty. The backing fabric, this again is a little bit of a print. No, this one is a solid. No, it's a little bit of a print. Just got a very faint little diamond, and I'm not sure you can even see that, but a white on white, very pretty. This measures 28 by 28 is the size of this, so really cute to hang on above a mantle, maybe above a buffet table or something at Christmas time. And the pattern I used for this one, the Pantograph, this is called Basic Swirl. Really just wanted to go with that the circular theme because of the wreath. Kind of a wintry feel, I guess, because of the circle, but this is Basic Swirl, so it just comes into a point, and then it repeats itself back out and goes out to the next one. A really easy one that you could do hand guided. but really pretty. So I used a white thread because of the white background fabric. I wanted to keep it white, so it looks really nice over the wreath part too, and really pretty. So the size of the swirl, smaller than my fist, almost like the end of your fist maybe, is the size that I did on that. Love the texture it creates in the white parts, like that. All right, here's pictures of Terry's second wall hanging. Terry's second wall hanging, this is called Evergreen, and last July Kimberly Jolly of the Fat Quarter Shop started a mystery quilt along that was Christmas related. So this was a free quilt along that each week she showed you how to do a new block, but the final compilation of all of them wasn't revealed to the end, so that's why it's a mystery. But all of the patterns are now available on the Fat Quarter Shop website, and there are YouTube videos to go along with each one. Each week they were learning a different block, and so a good skill builder if you're new to quilting. So some weeks it was the square and a square, you have some half square triangles, you've got pinwheel blocks that they're creating, there's some 4 patches. Even down here for the presents, they have some flying geese units. So, so the pattern, when you download it, you'll have to do each of the different patterns so that you get each of the different parts. I don't think it's put together as one pattern, but they're different downloads. So you can make sure you get all of them that you need. This one measures 32 by 38, so a little longer than it is wide. Again, the fabrics here, she used all scraps, and there is one of the downloads gives you the fabric requirements, so you can set all that out ahead of time. So if you're using scraps from your stash. So she's used a lot, Terry has used a lot of greens, some golds and reds. Very pretty for Christmas time. You can see this print here. I believe, I'll find this. I know I've used this on something else recently. And I know I have the link for that one. I want to say it's a Lori Holt print, but don't quote me on that. But I love the different colors of the stars. This is a great one to use for Christmas time because it just brings in, I mean, you could use this print on birthday because it's got so many different colors in it. It works well for Christmas too, but it's just a really cute print because it's just got those very simple stars, but pink and red and blue and green and yellow and brown. So I'll find that fabric and link it down below. It's again, it reads as a solid white from across the way, but when you get in closer, you can see the details of that. And then Terry used the same white on the back of this one as she did on the other one. For the pantograph on this one, to go along with the Christmas theme, the star at the top of the Christmas tree, this one's called Glimmering Stars. So it has a pretty detailed 8 pointed stars. Is that what it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 pointed stars, elongated along the north and south axis, and the diagonal ones are a little smaller. So it's a different looking star, a very neat one for Christmas time because it kind of gives you that thinking about the star at the top of the Christmas tree or something like that. Again, I used white thread on this one because of all of the white background fabric. And I think you can see the details of that one. So you have a little smaller star, a little larger one, and then the swirls in and out. And again, they cross over each other to create that ribbon type effect. And this one, the swirls are fairly tight. Where on the last one, they were a little more open, almost like a 1/4 inch around each as it echoed itself out, where this one's a little tighter. And they cross over each other to create that ribbon effect. Very pretty. This will be very nice for Christmas time. All right, I have another project by Terry today. So Terry's third project today is a quilt. This measures 72 by 72. I love the fabrics on this one. They're so just very romantic, I want to say. I guess that's kind of what it reminds me of. Just very soft florals. The fabric line in this is called Collections for a Cause, and this is called Etchings. This was put together by Howard Marcus and Three Sisters for Moda, and this is Collection for a Cause. So they curate this whole bundle together, and then the sales of this benefit the Parkinson's Foundation. Love the fabrics. The fabrics are so soft, so sweet, just beautiful. I love the rose color, the blues and the grays, just absolutely beautiful. All florals. You have some light blues in here. You can see the almost a tealy blue, just beautiful, just really, really pretty. The white has a little bit of a print, almost like a hashtag print on it. It's almost a grayish white. Love words. I always love words when they're in a fabric line. The grays with the florals, and then the white prints with the gray paisleys on there. It is just a beautiful line. Very, very pretty. And the backing fabric too. Oh my. Just a dainty rose there. It's so soft and feminine. Just love this whole thing. Again, all of the sales from this fabric line goes to benefit the Parkinson's Foundation. This is available through the Fat Quarter Shop. It's done by Moda, curated by Howard Marcus and Three Sisters. So, or designed by them, however that works. Okay. I love this rose pink color. This pattern is called Whoopsie Daisy. I haven't found the pattern itself yet. Terry did say it was from the Fat Quarter Shop, so I'll continue looking. Perhaps it's in a book. Perhaps it's one of the Jolly Bars. I'm not exactly sure. I'll try to get that information for you. So you can see the square is done in squares. So you can see the square. We have 5-inch square here, a 5-inch square here. So you're almost creating a 4-patch, if you can see that, in about a 5-inch. And then you have 2.5-inch strip, 2.5-inch strip, and a 2.5-inch on the corner. Every block is made that way, and then you're rotating them in different directions. Actually, looking at this, maybe not, no, yep, every block is made that way. And then you're rotating them different directions, so you can see sometimes it's down here. And these two fabrics, this is a 2.5-inch square and then a 2.5-inch square, so you can kind of see how you get that diagonal piece there. Love this, love this. Very pretty. So to go along with the very romantic feel of the quilt and of the fabrics, the pantograph we chose for this one is called Chantilly lace, and I love Chantilly lace. Again, it's just a very romantic type of dainty, feminine design. Kind of classic too, you know, just Victorian. I don't know, all of those feels I get from this fabric and from this design. So I didn't make this kind of small. This is only about 2 inches in height, one of the motifs, and so I love how this comes. It's the same motif down as up, and almost one of those optical illusions, because you have the 3 loops and then it does this swirl. But if you look at the swirl from this way or from this way, it looks the same. I don't know how they do that. That's just a design, really neat. And then it does the swirl, the 3 loops up there, and then it does the same, almost like scroll work, or almost like iron type work on a fence or something. I did a cream color thread on this one, not white, because the fabrics don't have a white base. They have more of a cream color base to it. The cream just really blends with things. And you can see on the backing, the back is not a white, it's a cream color, and all of it just coordinates so well. Love this. Just love the fabrics. I love the fabrics in this. Very beautiful. All right, here's pictures of the next one. This is Jill's project. This is a wall hanging as well, and this is, the dimensions on this are 43 by 49, but this time it's wider than it is long. And this is a free pattern called Log Jam. It is available on the Robert Kaufmann website. I've linked that down below as well. This is created with jelly rolls, so 2.5 inch strips. And if you can see, a block is right here. So you're joining 3 strips of jelly rolls and 3 strips, and you would actually don't cut them the 6 inches or whatever it is. You're actually joining the entire strip and then subcutting. That saves you so much time rather than joining each individual 2.5 by 6.5 or whatever it is. So you join the entire strips first, and then you subcut them into the size that you need. So 2.5 inch squares. So 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 would be 6. It would be a 6.5 inch square. Doing my math in my head right there. So then after you get your 3 strips cut into a square, then you're putting easy corner triangles on the corners, on the opposite corners. This is done with black. This is done with yardage. So the pattern required like a 1.5 yards of black to create that. So you're doing that on opposite sides. It's all different. It's not the same 3 strips. So you're taking different strips from the jelly rolls and joining them together. So you're going to see some greens, orange, and pinks. Other ones you're just going to see orange, yellows, and pinks. So they're all different ones. And then you join on your easy corner triangles on opposite sides, and then how you lay it out is how you get the triangle effect, where 2 of those easy corner triangles meet up. And I love how it's so cute because some go down and some go up, and therefore the term log jam. The backing fabric, Jill has then taken some of those strips that were left, joined those together on the back, added some other batik yardage on the sides. This one has like a little, what looks like a butterfly print almost on those. Love that. All right, so for the pantograph on this one, we chose what's called Modern Beach Bubbles. And so actually Modern Beach Bubbles stitches out this direction. But what we did was load this on the long arm the opposite way, so sideways, so that when it's hung on the wall, it's actually those beach bubbles and the waves from it have the same direction as the triangles on the quilt top. So this has a very beachy feel to me, a very bright, vibrant, sunny feel. And I love this pantograph because it adds that, it's that same movement as the triangles that are going up and down. It has those same movements up and down the quilt, but then we're adding a little bit of curvature because we have very straight lines, very angular with the triangles, and then with this Modern Beach Bubbles, we're adding this, just kind of a wave going down, and then it does have little circles, little 3 and little 4 on some of the lines. We did a light gray thread so that it wouldn't stand out very bright on the top. The gray blends really well with batiks. And I think this was just a really nice effect. I love how it creates the movement. I love the opposite feel from all of the angular parts of the pattern itself. We're creating a little bit of the opposite texture. We're creating a little bit of a softness there. And I think this turned out really well. This will be really pretty hanging on a wall. I like that. You can see it on the back there too. Very pretty. And that is Jill's. All right, here's the next one. Had beautiful, soft, feminine quilts this week. So many of them were just Again, I keep using that term romantic, but that's kind of the way they feel, just soft, delicate, and the looks of them very calming and soothing, and this one is no different. This pattern is called Good Girl. This was by Southern Charm Quilts. This is Sandy's quilt, and I love the fabric line too. A muted look of the tans and the golds and the melon colors, but they're all muted just a little bit, and I like this. This is called Cinnamon Tea and also Lighthearted. Cinnamon Tea is done by Melanie Traylor for Paintbrush Studios. Let me show you. So this is the backing fabric. I pulled this off a little bit. This is from the part that was trimmed off. So Cinnamon Tea. I just think this is so pretty. The melon color, it has little teacups in it on this one, and you can see them in different pattern, in some of the different fabrics. Some of them are just floral. This white has a little bit of the brown in here. Let me pull this in. So here some of the fabrics have floral along with teacups. You can see the teacup here, and just so pretty. Some very faint, just some of them are just, you know, very, very faint coloring, a little blush, I want to say, a little blush color, a little bits of golds. Here you can have the teacup along with the bees and the butterflies, just so dainty and soft. Very pretty. And here's that backing fabric. Again, you can see the teacups on there. Just really cute along with the floral. A little bit of a gray or a tealy gray in that, and very pretty. So Good Girl is the pattern, and that's available on Southern Charm Quilts. That's her pattern on her website. Sandy did say that the fabrics were a bundle from Meander and Make. I didn't see this exact quilt kit put together. There was other ones there too, but if you like that, you might be able to get it curated by them. So you can see the teacup and the yellow flowers. Very pretty. So it looks like it's a beginner pattern. You have, you know, sections here. You just have sashing, but you've got elongated blocks. So not difficult piecing, but it's very just soft and dainty. Love that. So for the pantograph, we chose a door, and a door has a spiral, but when you know, the same spiral that we've seen a couple times today, but when you come out of the spiral, then you stop and you do some feathers along the backbone of that spiral, and then even a leaf. So here's the spiral, it comes in, and then along the backbone of the spiral, it's doing feather type shapes. So it comes in and does 1, 2, 3, it actually comes down here and does 3 more, then it does a little leaf, it does a ribbon type effect up above it, and then it goes on to the next one and spins over here, does another little spiral, and then goes into the next one. I love the feather type effect on the back side of that spiral, down the spine of it. It's very pretty. This is a cream color thread. It blended with the muted color tones more so than white. You could have done white on this one too. I just felt like the cream was a little more subtle and blended a little better, so I went with that. Again, you can audition your threads, just lay them across. You might want to do several threads, not just one, because you've got some buildup in different, not heavy buildup, but where you've got the feathers on the back of the spine, you're going to have a couple, you're going to have some threads very close together. So if you're auditioning your threads, don't just lay one across, because it's going to be a little more than that. Just kind of swirl your threads on top. Maybe swirl little whites over here and some creams on the other side, and then see which one you like better. And for this one, I felt the cream was a better choice. Very pretty. So that is Sandy's quilt. All right, let's move on to this one. Holly has made this quilt for a graduation gift. She has taken novelty prints and combined them in this quilt that is just really, really pretty. This pattern is called Framed Squares, so you can see where she's fussy cutting one novelty print in the middle, and then it adds a white square around that, and then another novelty print around that. She's done a very nice job of combining prints. So you notice, like in this block, this is of a Capitol building, and so a little more detailed, I want to say, in this novelty print than with the white fabric around it. And then the next print is more of a floral. And so we have some straight lines, some detailed, and then we go to a little softer print. Here this one says Adventure Awaits, and then she's done, so the orange with the blue. Again, on this one, more of a detailed print. It's actually an octopus in the middle. I love the color here. And then the one on the outside is just a little more subdued. So she's done a great job of combining fabrics that one's busy, one's less busy. And then joining, I'm sure this is all things that the recipient has that mean something to her. So flowers, or places they visited, or animals, sports are in here. There's even, love the books with the food, and here's some other chocolates. And then I just think Holly's done a really nice job of combining colors with the different ones. A yellow print, and then some florals around that. The yellows with the purples is very pretty. Here, the blue, and then here's the seahorse print on this one. This is some really cute. Here's some hiking ones, and then the stars around that. I just think that's so cute. Here's more of like a game type theme, and then she's done some, this print is busy, but it's a nice complement to the game one in the middle. Some wildlife ones, just all different sorts. I love the bicycles, and then the polka dot print there. Here she's got some deer poking their heads out around some trees, and then she's got a leaf print with it, and the color combination is really nice. And I just think she's done a really nice job in putting the whole thing together. Everyone is different, nothing's repeated, none of the fabrics are repeated, every square is different, every sashing is different. I haven't noticed anything that repeats in this at all. Like this one too, she's even done some wording. This is flour, baking soda, cinnamon, vanilla, oats, and salt is what that says inside of a heart, so a baking recipe. And she's fussy cut them so that they look nice and neat inside the square. Some travel, just so cute. Just love everyone. This girl with the headphones on. Some volleyball and hedgehogs and sports. I mean, just a little bit of everything. I just think this is absolutely adorable. But let me flip it over so you can see the back. On the back of the quilt, Holly had family members embroider their initial onto some squares, and then she's included that in the backing. So it doesn't spell anything. There's a G and an X and an A, there's H and T and W, there's all different ones. But they've embroidered, some have added a little other symbols to them, like a ball or just other little motif things there. But I'm sure this is going to mean so much to the recipient to see those initials on the back. This is done in flannel. The front is all cotton, the back is all flannel. This backing print, this is a London print for the backing, and then some black polka dot, and then a little bit of green around these squares. So she's echoed that same framed squared pattern from the front and echoed that on the back, but it does a T shape across the top with all of the flannel squares, and then down the middle with the initials. Look at that acorn, those French knots are very nice. Wow, really cute. So the recipient of this must be a soccer player, because Holly asked if I had a soccer ball motif or a soccer ball pantograph, and so I found one. And this is called Soccer Ball Meander, and so you can see the shape of the soccer ball. It really stitches out like almost like a square. It's not a square, but when you see it pulled in, the design is you've got a soccer ball and a meander and a soccer ball and a meander. So if you can picture like a square, in one corner is the soccer ball, on the opposite corners, and then a little bit of meander. But when you repeat it, then that continues all the way through the quilt. So one's going to be, you're always going to have your soccer balls zigzagging, I guess you want to say, and the meander in between them. So I did a white thread on this one. It blended well with the white. The fabrics on it, it was a light, airy, bright quilt, so I felt white was pretty much the best choice for this one. And so if you have a soccer ball person, if you have a soccer fan in your family and are creating a quilt, then there is a soccer ball meander pantograph, and I've listed that down below. You might want to use that for your sports themed quilts that you're working on. All right, love this, Holly. You did a really nice job, and she's gonna love this one. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh my goodness, isn't this one incredible? So this is Tula pink fabric. Did you not guess? So this is Marilyn's quilt, and she said there was no pattern. She fussy cut to get all of this created this way. So let me see if you can see the block. So we have a main block in the middle, the larger block here. And then she has fussy cut smaller ones to go in the corners. Then she has created flying geese units to go in between. And so the purplish color is the background print, and then this polka dot with the yellow. And look how it frames that frog in the middle. Do you see the frog? You see it? And then she has fussy cut this other print here. She did a very nice job to keep all of that straight. She fussy cut that for the sashing. And look how nice that looks. Every block is the same. This measures 56 by 75. She said this is for a granddaughter. This is so cute. And then the backing fabric. Let me flip this over so you can see the back. So look at the blocks she created for the back. She fussy cut this circle, and this is actually appliqued on to the center part from what it looks like to me. But she's created this sunburst from extra fabrics from this line, the same colorways, and then fussy cut that circle so that she got that motif in the middle, but then appliqued it onto the others. Very nice, very nicely done. And so those squares go all the way down the middle, as you can see, with the pink polka dot, and then more Tula pink fabric on the edges. This is off-centered, which is nice. I like that. I like that really a lot. All right, let's look at the pantograph. So in choosing a pantograph for this one, we auditioned several different ones, and I gave Marilyn lots of different choices. We kind of looked at some water-themed ones because of the frog. Do we do like a puddles one so it looked like maybe lily pads or water? Looked at one that was a little more kind of like swirls, but they were elongated, almost like an eel or something like that. Kind of looked at that one. We looked at some paisley flowers, so it looked a little more of the curve. But I also sent this one to her. This one is called Diamond Scrolls and Feathers. And what I see in this pantograph, I see the same type of design in the frog and in some of the motifs that are around here. And so almost like scroll work, almost like iron type fencing. Just think this really complemented the originality of the fabrics and the boldness and the brightness of the fabrics. I think we wanted a pantograph that really enhanced that whole thing. Just go along with the same theme. So You've got, it's really like scroll work, so it's almost like a wrought iron fence, like you would see some of the scroll work in that. Very much the same feel. So you've got some swirls, but then the feather feel on top, and then swirls. You got a little bit of diamond print right there with the feather down below. Very much like ironwork. And I think this really complemented the whole look of the fabric. Just kept with the same theme. It really just enhanced and just complemented the fabric really nicely. So this is a cream color thread. With this pantograph, you do have some buildup where it's going over the same line a couple times. So it does the 3 loops here, and then it does the 3 loops here before it comes back up to this diamond print. And so you have a little bit of back stitching where it's stitching the same line a couple of times, so you do get a little bit of a thicker and a little bit of darker line in those areas. You can see that. Just love it. I think it really complemented this quilt. Really, really complemented. Again, sometimes there are pantographs that they go perfectly. Like it was made for that quilt, and that's one of those in this one. Love it, love it, love it. How fun, how fun. All right, a couple more today. This pattern is called Harrisonburg, and this is Nancy's quilt, and she said this was a Virginia Quilt Museum fundraiser pattern from last year, 2023. The pattern was created by Wendy Sheppard. Nancy used all of Seashore Drive fabric, and that is Sherry and Chelsea, mother-daughter team, that did this fabric line. So a very springy feel to this one. You have the same square in each one. So all the blocks are the same. We have a center square, then you have the square and a square with the triangles around that. And then around each one you have half square triangle blocks that create the cornerstones for that. The sashings are white that match the background fabric of the block itself. And then you have you can see the 9 patches that create the cornerstones there. So the 9 patches there and there that create the cornerstones. But again, when you use the same color sashing as you do in your quilt block, then it creates that feel that the blocks are like floating along. You don't see you're not framing them like you would if you have a darker print. So very pretty. I love this. I love the springy feel to it. I like how Nancy's combined her fabrics. Sometimes like she has the gray and the yellow and the green, and then the green and the pink, green and the purple and the melon color. Sometimes she's done all 3 prints very similar colors. There's some grays in this fabric line. I love all the different combinations you can get in the colors. So a purple block pretty much, and then here you've got the blue-green with the yellow gingham, and then the blue-green again on the outside. And then other times she's done 3 different colors, like the gray and the purple, and then the peachy color. The 9 patches are really cute. They're small. I mean, those are like 1.5-inch finished squares right there. So pretty small. Around the whole outside is a square and a square block, so it almost matches, kind of repeating the same fabric, almost gives you like that pearl or diamond effect all the way around the edge of the quilt. So really cute. And then just a very skinny white border around the edge to give yourself, to give your eye some space where those blocks really stand out and they're not right at the edge of your quilt. Very pretty. Love the fabrics. Very springy feel. Florals, dainty florals, small florals. The mustardy yellow in that print there. The backing fabric. This is a Lori Holt print. the larger fabric, or the larger flower, a little bit larger. One of her prints there. This is a wide backing. For the pantograph on this one, we chose Whisper. And Whisper is a playful one. I like this one. It's, again, a swirl, again, a feather, but a little larger. So here we have the swirl. You can see the swirl coming in, and then it does the feather type print there, but it also adds in some bubbles as well, or circles. I guess you'd say they're circles. But a fun, playful one, and very soft, a very fun, dainty, but a little more open. It's not as tight swirls as some of the others you've seen today, a little more open. So you can change a design just on how tight you echo that swirl out, or how much space you give it. You can change, it's the same muscle movement. If you're doing hand guided, it's the same, you're doing the same movement, it's just how much you leave space in between those swirls, whether you're going right back over the top of your line that you came in on, or whether you're creating just a very thin ribbon-like spacing, or whether you're making it much larger like this where it comes in and then it's a big spacing out, and then adding some other floral motifs and feather type motifs. And even you can see on the top of this feather, I keep saying the designer. At the top of the feather, do you see this at the top of the feather print? And then she's done a circle on the top of that. So again, just adding in different elements. You can do circles, you can do spirals, you can do feathers, or you can add all three together and get a whole new design. So I really like this one. It added just the very light, airy feel to this quilt, the fabrics and everything. We did a white thread because of the white background fabric. The white thread goes very nicely, and then it blends right in with the back. So pretty. Very fun. This one measures 81 by 96, so it's a fairly large quilt, and you can find that pattern link down below. All right, I have one more to share with you today. And finally today, this is Brenda's quilt, and Brenda happens to be my mom. And so she is the one that introduced me to quilting, 20-some years ago. And so it's so fun to work on one of her projects because, as you know from the last few weeks when I've been sharing some of my early quilts, she's the one that began long arming quilting my projects. And so she had a long arm quilter first, and I thought it was the coolest thing that first I gave her my quilts to work on, or to finish for me, and then she taught me on her machine, and then I said I need one of those for myself. So she has since sold hers. She owned two different long arms, but she has since sold hers so that they don't have to be at home all the time. They can now travel some more, and so now I get to finish her quilts. So this is her pattern, and I'll link the pattern and the fabrics down below. I don't have that information in front of me right now. Love the browns and the grays of this one, and this pattern has very neat, subtle effects. So when you first see it, you think it's blocks, but then in the layout, there's this, features where one block, so if you look at this one, I don't know how well you can see, but this block, but the way the color scheme from the block next to it in the flying geese units, you have a little bit of a yellow right here, and then you have that in the ones next to it, and so then when you're laying the blocks together, it almost creates this diamond effect around the square. So it's very subtle, but I think it's really cool. It's one of those, it takes a lot of planning for something like this, a lot of being very careful in the way you're laying it out and not getting blocks mixed up, because the blocks are different in each one. You can even see the center block is a darker, but then if you don't do those flying geese units correctly, then you're going to lose that diamond effect that it creates from the next square. So really neat. I love how that all interconnect and really pretty. So I know this took her a long time to do but she's done a really nice job. And then all of the sashings around, or not the borders. I love these skinny borders that she did around the edge. So you've got a brown one, then a gray one, then a lighter tan one, and then a white one, and then the larger brown one around the edge. I like that. I like the three skinny ones. I think that's a really neat effect. You don't always see that, where you know, a lot of times we'll do a skinny one and then one big one. I like the three together. I like the framing of it. I just think it's really neat. I like that. All the fabrics are batiks. They're all brown batiks, browns and grays. Some are subtle, and some are more striking, a little darker. Some are more paisley prints, some polka dots, but it all works together. Very nice. So there you can see the block a little bit better. And then how the triangle, the flying geese units from the blocks beside it create the diamond effect. Really pretty. The backing fabric, this one's a really neat print. I like that. It's a really neat contrast to the front, because you add in a little more floral, where the front's a little smaller scale. This is the large scale. I really like this print. I think the colors of it go really well with the front. Like this a lot. So the pantograph I chose, this is actually the same pantograph I used last week on a batik quilt, on the purple quilt last week that had the yellow sashing, and the pantograph I used was called Tooled Leather. And I liked it so well last week that I picked it for her quilt as well. So typically, pretty much the same size as I used last week. I did use a cream color thread on this. A lot of the fabrics in the top are a cream color. I like this tooled leather pantograph, especially for batiks. I just think it goes really well. Not always do I want to use a floral so much on a batik fabrics. They're just a little different. They're more of the leafy type prints, and sometimes leaves work, but even with batiks, they're not like your oak leaf or your walnut tree leaf or something like. It's just a little different. And so this tooled leather gives you a little bit of the scroll, a little bit of the spiral, just the hint of a little leaf right there, just mainly the outline of it, but not the vein type part. It's almost like the budding of a flower with like a long pistil shape coming up out of it. It's just a little different, and I think it works really well for batiks. I'm putting together a PDF where I kind of separate the different pantographs. So right now, if you go to my website and you look under, it says E2E designs, or E2E pantographs, meaning edge to edge designs. And so if you go on that tab and look down, it lists all the pantographs. I need to put more on there because every week I'm buying new ones, and I need to add those to there, and I don't always get that done. But they're done in alphabetical order, 3 columns, alphabetical order. But I'm working on putting a PDF together where it actually does it by designs. So I'm creating, like putting all spiral designs, all the ones that have some spiral in it, grouping those all together so you can look at all of those at the same time, all the geometric ones together. And this wouldn't necessarily be on my website, but I'll do it as a PDF that you can download and look at that way. And so I'm doing one separate that's batiks. These are great designs to use on batik fabrics because batiks have their own look to them. The stamping that is done on them, and they just tend to have their own look. And so I think certain pantographs work really well with batiks. And you could use, leaves, and I have. You can use florals, and I have. But I think there are certain pantographs that just lend themselves very well to batik fabrics and the style that is. And so when I get that PDF done and completed, and I may even do it in some different, these are the 10 best spiral pantographs or something like that, and so that you can see all of those together. but something that's a work in progress right now that I'm enjoying. As I'm buying new pantographs, I'm automatically putting those on that PDF, because when I'm meeting with clients or I'm looking at your quilts trying to decide, it's good for me too to be able just to see, 8 or 10 pantographs in this style. And because even if I'm working on a spiral, I think, okay, this one needs some spiral or this needs some floral. You have so many different floral prints that I can pick different ones. And sometimes you forget about different pantographs. It's like, oh yes, I used that one on a quilt 3 months ago and I've never used it again. And so to keep those in front of my eyes, as well as be able to show to you so that you can pick different ones, I think is a great thing. So I'm working on that. But I continue. As I'm buying new ones, I add it directly onto that PDF. At one point, at some point, I've done under one heading, I guess I want to say, under that PDF. So I've got spirals, I've got floral, I've got geometric, I've got classic ones, I've got wind and wintry ones, or things like that. So it's something I'm working on, and I think it'll be a great resource. But Tooled Leather is the name of this one, and again I used cream color thread on this one. And with the intricacy of the pattern itself, the pantograph is really just a second feature. It's not something that stands out. It's something that you've got to be in pretty close to even see, because the backing fabric is so busy too, you can't hardly even see the pantograph on the back at all. So it really is a secondary design. It's more in the borders that you can see it, and when you get up close to the quilting that you can see it there as well. So this one's a fairly large quilt too. Let me see. This one is 80 by 106, so a nice size, good size bed quilt. So, all right, that's what I have worked on for this week, and I will be back here next week. If you need your quilts finished, because every quilt deserves to be finished, whether it's your first quilt that you're making, whether it's a quilt that you found in your grandmother's cedar chest, it deserves to be finished. Or whether it's your 100th quilt, it doesn't matter. Don't make them and shove them away in a closet. They deserve to be finished, and so I am here to help you with that. You can download the Longarm prep and order form, and it gives you all the instructions on how to get your quilt to me. Hopefully this time next week I'll be back with you to share news about a new grandbaby, and share wonderful pictures as well. But in the meantime, I hope you're finding or making lots of time to quilt, and I'm going to fit in some too around the new grandbabies. So have a great week, and I will see you here next week.